Today is Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. So what I wanted to do is just show, we got a request to show our community portfolio. So first I'm just going to show what we currently have in our community portfolio. So we have Cheesecake Factory, which is cake, C-A-K-E. We got that for $52.99. So this one, you guys, is one that I'm gonna, buy shares of at this price because I believe that Cheesecake Factory is, it's a great price here. Celsius, and the date matters. That's why I say the date, because like I said, this is February 11th, 2025. If this is being watched a year later, the price may be different, or even a month later. So Celsius, we currently have 23 shares. Average cost is $23.90. Currently, we're wanting to buy Celsius below $22. So once again, I'm stocking up on Celsius. So when Celsius starts to go up and we go in the green, might want to sell it when we have 5 to 10% gains. Elf, today we actually bought Elf. Did we buy Elf yesterday? And today it went up 16%. So Elf we got here for $86.48. And the reason I got Elf for $86.48 is because I feel like that's a great buy. This is a great buying opportunity. So February stocks tend to go down, and it becomes a great buying opportunity. But I woke up and pre-market Elf was at like $65, which was like another 25% lower than the $86. So I decided to snag a few shares in my own portfolio, Steve's Roth, and the community portfolio. But within 2 days, it went up to 16%. And I think I did a video, you guys, where I said I'm going to buy Elf and I'm going to hold it to see where it's at the end of the year. But, I got those prices at 16%. I wanted to sell that because one of the things we're doing here is we are compounding. And so 16% is good. And I guess I'm hoping that Elf goes down, but it's not really looking like it's going to go down at that price again. But if I can snag some shares below what I actually sold it for, then it was a good deal. So we have Ford, 13 shares. Fubo, we have 67 shares of Fubo. So we're wanting to stock up on Fubo. Honest, we have 34 shares of that. Topgolf, we have 10 shares. SCHD, we have 12 shares. SoFi, we have 1 share. We're going to start buying more of SoFi. And then Sound, we have 6 shares. Okay. So currently, oops, that was probably going too fast, making everybody dizzy. Let's go to closed position. And I think that somebody wanted to see what stocks we bought in our closed position. But right now for 2025, we have made $144.50. So, not bad for our portfolio size here. You guys remember we started with $1,000 and we're adding $250 every month. And so far we've been getting gains between 3 and 10% is the goal. So we've been hitting that goal every month. We started October 2024. And so these are, this is the closed position, which means we've bought these shares and then we sold it. So I wanted to share this because it was a request from somebody in the community. So this is for 2025 so far. So just trying to move slow here so you can see, Fubo, I think we bought 50 shares, 15 shares. Sometimes I've bought, 1 share. So this is 2 pages worth. Okay. So let's slide down to Elf. Elf, like I said, I bought 2 shares in the community portfolio because I have to pick that number based on what we have there and how much of the funds I want to, allocate. So we bought 2 shares and then within 2 days it went up 16%, and I'm not seeing it really go back down to the $65.73. So I decided just to capitalize on that and, take the profit. Here we have it. We bought it for $71.89, and then I sold it for $73.50 because I figured, well, as it's going up, I could, sell it for 1 to 3%. That's a day trade, and then buy it again for less. So I've been waiting for it to go back down to $71.89, and it's not. But if it drops lower, so we sold it for $73.50, and then we sold it today for a 16% gain, our 2 shares for $75.97. I was doing that more as a swing trade. I really didn't expect it to go up 16% in 2 days. So see how that works out like that sometimes. So and like I said, so what we're doing is we're buying shares of stock that we want to hold on to long term anyway. So it's like, okay, I want to hold on to this because I believe it's going to go up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, within a year or two. But now once it reached 16%, I'm like, well, I might as well take profit, because we're compounding, because we want to grow our portfolio. Once you get your portfolio to a certain position, you can hold on to things longer, especially if, like I said, you're doing it long term and you're setting yourself up so that you can live off of the money that you're making in the stock market. You eventually, when your portfolio is a larger amount, and the community portfolio is to show you how it can grow. You guys are watching it from $1,000, adding $250 every month, and growing every month. So I thought it was a good idea to take the 16% profit. That's exciting. Celsius. So like I said, this was a request. So this is our Celsius. Hold that there for a second. That's just for anybody in the community who wants to study it. Honest. See the numbers. You can see what we bought it for, what we sold it for, how many shares. Sound. So then if any of you guys look at this portfolio, Top Golf, and then you decide you want to ask questions, you can see on one side the date we acquired it, the date we sold it, the quantity, the cost basis is what we paid for it. Cost basis per share is what the average share was. So that's a total dollar amount we put into it, but the cost basis per share is the dollar amount that it averaged. And then the proceeds, which is what we got back when we sold it, the proceeds per share. So here you can see on February 11th, we bought it for $7.29. We sold it for $7.49. And we got a 60% gain. So you can see here what our gains are, right? And it tells you whether it's a short-term or long-term gain, because remember, you're taxed differently for short-term and long-term at the end of the year. Here's Ford. AMD. So like I said, you guys, so what I do is you can see that I move around from stock to stock because I'm looking to see what's a good buy at that time. We want to be an expert on a certain stock, but when there becomes a buying opportunity, like what happened with, I'd want to be buying right now more of Honest and Fubo, but when that buying opportunity presented itself with ELF, that I needed to put funds towards ELF because it was, well, and obviously it paid off because it went up 16% in 2 days. Went up 10% the first day, and then another 6% the second day. And I'm watching the charts, and I kind of felt like, okay, I think I want to go ahead and take, I think maybe tomorrow it might go down, and it'll go down lower than what I sold it for. So I'll buy those shares again, and then sell it on its climb up. Okay, so this is 2024. So you can see here where I changed the date today, this month, custom 2025, 2024. And I think this was just a request from someone who wanted to see, what we bought and sold in the community portfolio. So remember, we started this in October with $1,000, and so we made $226 in October. So in 2024. So here is what we bought and sold. Well, actually, with sound. So this video is more interesting for everybody who's in our community portfolio, because you guys are following along with this. And See here where we have the -2 cents and the -8 cents, that created a wash because I decided it was better just to go ahead and take, I saw that it was UNG started going down, better to just take a loss, or, was taking a little bit of a loss, because sometimes we take a loss, so that we can get our money back to start putting it back into, and here's the different pages, back into compounding. That's page 3. Okay, but we never really want, we want to be careful, make sure that our losses don't really negate our gains. And so what I do sometimes, you guys, is, especially like if let's say I set a goal that I want to make $200 in a day, and I make $240 in that day, I might look around the portfolio. So I made my $200 for the day. I might look around the portfolio and see where I can take where it's what's the best decision to take a $40 loss, because my goal was $200. I made my goal for the day. Now I'm going to go ahead and take that loss so that I can get that money back into circulation and compounding. Compounding daily, right? Because I was, doing numbers compounding yearly. And then I was like, what happens if we compound monthly? And then I was like, what happens if we compound weekly? What happens if we compound daily? It just, your position grows, your money grows faster if you can learn how to do that. So for the month of February, you guys, stocks tend to go down. So what I'm doing this month, I'm just talking while I'm showing this. So this information, for anyone who is interested, because in case you want to follow along, ask questions why we picked that stock. I took a loss here on AMD because I wanted to get that money into circulation. But February is a month where stocks tend to go down. So I'm waiting patiently so I can see if I can find, the lowest the stock is going to go down. And then I try to pick up shares and then wait for it to go up maybe 5 or 10%, because I'm trading less because stocks are going down. So I'm not really wanting I'm really wanting to look at a bottom, because when stocks are going down, you don't want to catch it while it's going down and then end up getting, let's say Topgolf was going down to $7.50, $8 to $7.50. I don't want to buy it at $7.45 and then it goes down to $7.50 and stays there for a little bit and I have it at $7.45. That's going to happen automatically without that's going to happen. That's inevitable. That's why we're holding on to some of these stocks. And that's why we said, like, in our open positions, in our overview category, that's why it always looks like it's in the red right now, because whenever I'm in the green, especially if it gets past 10%, I sell it because I'm working on compounding and getting this portfolio to a certain size. Probably will day trade and swing trade. Remember, we're going to do a combination of day trading, swing trading, dividend investing, long-term investing, generational investing, right? Shares that we're going to hold on to for 20, 30, 40 years to pass on to the next generation. But first, we want to grow our portfolio. So probably the goal is to get this to, the goal would be, to get this to where I'm showing you how you can day trade and swing trade with like $100,000, and then maybe dividend invest with like 900,000. So obviously the goal is to get this portfolio to $1 million plus. And really, so that's what I want to show you guys there. Okay, so that was for the request to see what's in our stock portfolio, which I think this is a good thing to do periodically. So even throughout the years, people can see how they can grow a stock do this themselves. If you know how to do things on a computer, which in today's time, now my dad never really knew how to do things on a computer, right? He barely learned how to work his phone. So you do have to know how to do things on a computer. But what I mean by that is, if you can learn how to buy a plane ticket, you can learn how to do online banking, and you know how to rent a car online. You know how to do those things online. You place a DoorDash order, right? You place a meal order. If you've learned how to do those things, you can learn how to set up a Fidelity account, buy a stock low, sell it when it's higher. Buy, ELF at $65, sell it at when it gets to 16% gains. So you can learn how to do that. And so the reason that we're doing this is because, now the average person, I hate to say average person, but anyone who's interested in building wealth and growing their finances can learn how to manage their own stock portfolio, where years ago that wasn't available to everyone, but it's available to everyone now. And I think it's just a new thing. It's still so fairly new that not enough people know about it, or they know the wrong things about it. So what we're just trying to do is get it out there in the community and let people know that you don't have to put your financial future, your financial peace of mind in somebody else's hands. You can learn how to master your finances, build wealth, and take care of that for your family, right? I mean, I know women women, you guys, moms and wives and just women, we shuffle things all day long, right? Like we're always shuffling things. And so I see how challenging life is, and I've experienced how challenging life is. And it's the same thing for men. Men go into the workplace and they experience challenging things. So it almost kind of breaks my heart to, when I realize that people really don't know that they can do something like this, like buy a stock and sell it for higher, and then repeat that over and over again and build wealth for yourself. Like you can learn how to do that. And so that's why we started this. So that's why I started this financial coaching with the stock market, because I really do believe that this is an opportunity for people to position themselves to have financial peace of mind, financial independence, financial stability, financial health and strength. Our coaching community is $37 a month, and we do 2 to 4 Zoom sessions a month on Tuesday evenings, and then from 7:30 to 9:30. And then we do videos, we create PDFs for you. So for $37 a month, you guys, to learn how to build wealth that you can pass on from generation to generation, but also build wealth for yourself now, right? Because really the thing with mastering your finances is learning how to have discipline in your finances, build your wealth, while at the same time not feel like it's restricting, but still enjoy life. So that's part of having a great budget, is to also have freedom money and money that you can use to have fun with. But what you need to do is take the money that you're making, a portion of it. We like to promote 70-20-10 formula. 70% goes towards living, 20% towards building wealth, and 10% towards giving. So if you can get it to the point where you're investing and growing 20% of your money, eventually that 20% makes it so that you can have more money in the other areas.